My Uncle Jules by Guy de Maupassant. Part 1. A poor old man with a white beard asked us for some money.
Any spare change, gentlemen?
My friend, Joseph d'Avranches, gave him 5 francs. Noticing my surprised look, he told me this story. I grew up in a poor family in the port of Le Havre. My father worked hard but earned very little. We never had enough money, and my mother often had harsh words for her husband. The poor man would respond with a gesture which used to distress me. He would silently pass his open hand over his forehead, as if to wipe away perspiration. I felt his helpless suffering. We economised on everything, and never would accept an invitation to dinner so as not to have to return the courtesy. All our provisions were bought at bargain sales. Because my 2 sisters made their own gowns, there would be long discussions about the cheapest fabrics. Every lost button was fretted over, every centime counted. The highlight of our week was a Sunday promenade in our best clothes along the seashore. My sisters would clean any stains on father's frock coat with a rag moistened with benzene. I can still remember that smell. Then my father would put on his tall silk hat and we would set out as if for a funeral. My sisters marched ahead, arm in arm. They were of marriageable age and on display. I walked on the left of my mother and my father on her right. I remember the pompous air of my poor parents on these Sunday walks, their stern expressions and stiff, ungainly movements, as if they were a royal couple moving among their subjects. Our promenading would always end at the docks. There we would watch the big steamers returning from unknown and distant countries. And my father would always say, "What a surprise it would be if Jules were on that one, huh?" I was a small child when Uncle Jules left Le Havre after committing one of the greatest crimes in a poor household, squandering the family money. A rich young man is permitted to sow his wild oats, as they say, but a poor boy who does this is a good-for-nothing, a wastrel. Uncle Jules left our town in disgrace on a freighter sailing to New York. The big ship sails on the... Soon after arriving in America, he wrote to my father, That changed everything for our family. Jules suddenly became a good man, a kind-hearted fellow, true and honest, like all the d'Avranches. We were further heartened by meeting a sailor who knew someone who knew my uncle. Apparently, he has rented a large shop. Yes, they say he's doing some important business. Our spirits lifted, despite the lack of further details. 18 months later, a second letter arrived from Uncle Jules. My dear Philippe, I'm writing to tell you that I'm leaving tomorrow for a long trip to South America. Business is good, and my health is excellent, so don't worry if you don't hear from me for a while. When my fortune is made, I shall return to Le Havre and we shall all live happily together. This letter became our family Bible. We showed it to everyone. My parents never gave up hope of a triumphant homecoming. Life will be different for us when Jules is back, my mother would repeatedly say as the months turned to years, with no further news from or about my American uncle.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.